All right, young scholars, we are now going to start Module 5, starting tomorrow. I'm still noticing the same issues that we've seen throughout the first 4 weeks. Within the discussion questions, there are still these awful, useless responses, such as, hey, Brooke, great response this week. Using the proper forecasting can set you up for success. Using the wrong forecasting can be extremely detrimental. That's useless to anybody within the discussion. That's not going to get any points. As I've pointed out repeatedly, at this point, you want to have a strong initial post, such as this one here that Brooke has provided, and you want to have a strong response, such as the response here that Simona has provided to Brooke. I've noticed that most of you are doing pretty well with the initial response. However, most of you are struggling with your one response that's required for this course. We don't want these 5 random awful responses that add nothing to the conversation. We want a response that's going to further drive the conversation and make it so that somebody wants to respond. So for this upcoming week, Unit 5, our question is, what are the major components of inventory carrying cost? And how would you measure capital cost for making inventory policy decisions? You'll notice on the course blog here, I recommend that you utilize all the materials discussed within the inventory cost section, which runs pages 298 through 311 in your textbook to support your answer. You're also free to utilize any experience you have had with the business simulation CAPSIM or CAPSIM Ops related to how not having a stock out, selling all products, is harmful to your business due to the potential large inventory carrying cost. Another issue that has popped up within the first 4 units that a lot of you have not figured out yet is that there are, for each of these case studies, questions right here associated on Canvas that you should be answering instead of the questions in the textbook. So for this week's case study, our baseball card emporium case is on page 354 in your textbook, and you're answering these 4 questions on Canvas, not the ones in the textbook, these ones on Canvas. What is the basic economic order quantity for BBE in units, in pounds? Economic order quantity, EOQ for short. What is the total cost, not considering transportation-related costs of the EOQ, which is economic order quantity? What is the total cost for using motor carrier transportation? And what is the total cost for using air carrier transportation? Lastly, which alternative should be used? So on the course blog, you'll notice, use the formulas detailed associated with EOQ for your calculation for questions 1 and 2. Then for questions 3 and 4, use Appendix 9A as your guide on how to include transportation costs associated with EOQ. That last question, which alternative should be used, is what you would answer specifically. You need to support your response on which one of those you would choose. So again, answer these questions presented on Canvas, not the ones in the textbook. Multiple times now, individuals have answered the ones in the textbook and have resulted in low scores as a result. So within Unit 5, you'll notice that only chapter number 9 is covered. Unlike every other unit where there has been 2 chapters covered. So with respect to Unit 9, I have some added content I want to touch on. So first, in order to meet inventory demand, companies will often utilize the reorder point, or ROP model, which determines when products need to be reordered to avoid stock outages. You'll see this a lot in grocery stores. They may have 3 on the shelves, but they have more coming tomorrow in order to avoid any potential stock out. That's going to cost them money. If they don't have something on the shelf to sell, that's going to cost them money. To best accommodate inventory, companies use a sales and operations planning process, abbreviated S&OP, to determine their sales plan, production and inventory plan, address any potential backlog, determine new products, how to promote products, and the potential financial impact that comes with that. In the event products are created using different companies, a master resource plan, or MRP, must be created to determine when to explode or combine these components to create a finished product referred to as a parent. So think of an iPhone. It has a bunch of different parts or components that are put together to build the parent product, the phone that you use. Inventory heavily depends on capacity or your ability to make products. Do you have enough workers? Do you have enough equipment in order to make your product or provide your service? For example, if you have a pizza delivery company, you're making a bunch of pizzas, you might want to have more workers available, let's say Friday night, let's say during football games, to accommodate all of the potential orders. Same application applies if you're creating products. Do you have enough workers to assemble your products, get them out to stores, etc.? There are different ways to provide inventory to customers, though. You can make to stock. It's already made. It's just distributed to be put on shelves for easy purchase. You can make to order. Think of fast food. Everything there, that can be used to make you what you want and customized for you. For example, I go to McDonald's. I don't like pickles on my cheeseburgers. So I can customize or have it made to order to have no pickles on my cheeseburgers. Then there's assemble to order. Think of a bicycle or maybe furniture. It's put together upon purchase. Then there's also engineer to order, which created based on your specifications. Think like a customized laptop if you were to purchase that. But one important aspect of inventory is procurement, or how, where we are getting our product. Do we make our product? If so, where do we get our product? Do we buy our product? Do we outsource the creation of our product? How do we, in essence, receive all of the items that we need to create our product? How do we get it out to the consumer? All of that relates to procurement. So again, I want to touch on once again, since this has been a problem the entire course, make sure that you are putting together a strong initial response, as I used Brooke's example here, with a strong response follow-up, as I used Simona's example here. You'll notice the difference between something that's going to further drive the conversation and get somebody to respond, as opposed to one of these, it seems like, usual online requirements of these horrible 5 responses that add nothing to the conversation. So you should be able to see the difference. The only thing this response is going to get from Eric might be a thanks from Jillian. Whereas this response from Melanie, as an example, is going to get a response. There have been questions posed. I need more information. Can you help me out? And then again, with the case studies, make sure you are answering the questions from Canvas, not the ones in the textbook. And again, as I continue to recommend, you're more than welcome to do those quizzes in advance, because they're each literally just random questions from the textbook. You could navigate through and answer them as necessary.